Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. Well, like I said this morning, it's a beautiful day in the Ozarks. This has been quite literally almost a perfect type of day, just weather-wise speaking. Light breeze, beautiful sun, not too hot, just really nice. Don't get, it seems like we don't get that many of these anymore. I remember when I was a kid, you had kind of actual seasons, right? You knew when spring was here and you had a few weeks of really nice weather and you have some rainy weather and then it got warm. Now, who knows? It's whatever. So it's Friday and some of you are getting ready for your weekend. Some of you are getting ready for your Shabbat. But there's two big things that's happened this week. And I think for most people, if we could transport ourselves 7 days ago, I would guess that the average person wouldn't consider these things happening. At least not right now. This wasn't on the radar. It wasn't on your bingo card, right? And I'm speaking of a war between India and Pakistan and the Trump administration turning its back on Israel and the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. It's gotten a lot more legs today. And it's pretty much solid confirmed that is the case. Alex Jones is out talking about it. He still is kind of a mouthpiece for Donald Trump in a lot of ways. A lot of people are talking about it, and reports are that the president said that, well, what if the Houthis start attacking Israel, which they already have. They lobbed another ballistic missile. The president said he doesn't care. He doesn't care. As long as they're not hitting American targets, he doesn't care. And I know that some of you are in favor of that. And then I've seen the comments this morning, others are not. And I'm not here to pick sides. I'm not here necessarily to even tell you so much my opinion on this. I'm mostly here to discuss, what does all this mean? What does all this mean? India and Pakistan, they've been going at it for centuries. I mean, like 1,000 years. And the last few weeks, it's been building and building that India and Pakistan, where there was going to be a war. And a lot of people just kind of blew it off. Okay, that happens between the two of them, a little border skirmish or a lot of talk and nothing. And then all of a sudden, it happened. And it's been days now. And it seems to be building and building. In fact, today it was announced that India is directing part of their Navy over to Pakistan, ballistic missile ship that's capable of shooting, hypersonic or supersonic missiles. There's been ballistic missiles and drones back and forth. People have been captured. Interesting with this one, a lot of Pakistan's military equipment is Chinese, and it's actually doing really good. They're taking down planes. It's actually performing really well, according to what the news is saying, which is really the first time that Chinese arms have been really put to the test, for the most part, in a combat scenario, and they're doing really good. No one really expected that, at least not expecting it to become an actual war. Pakistan has said that they are now in a state of war with India, that this is not a little skirmish, that this is not, a little tit for tat, that this is an actual war and that they are involved in an actual war. Not too many people really, I think, expected to see that by the end of the week. So it's a bit of a busy week. I mean, there's been a lot of other stuff happen, obviously. But those are two big things. And the Israel thing is obvious, I think, that it has some serious repercussions. A lot of people are thinking that it's a play. It's a play, trying to make it look like that we're at odds with Israel, maybe opening the doorway for Iran or someone else to make a move on Israel so that we can, make a move on them, or maybe it's to make it look, to make Benjamin Netanyahu look bad, and maybe he loses his position, and another party, another person takes over as prime minister. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's what it is on the surface. I mean, that's usually not the likely case, but it could be. And it could be that the president is just sore with him. In fact, the Alex Jones, I rarely ever watch him anymore. It's been years and years since I've listened to him on any consistent basis. But I did watch a short little 3-minute snippet of what he had to say about it. And he said that reports are that going back to the 2020 election when Trump lost and was stolen from him, that Benjamin Netanyahu didn't say or do anything, but immediately called and congratulated Biden, and that he's still sore about that, and that he's tried to bury the axe, but that Benny was trying to, subvert his authority and can get the Trump's own people within the White House to side with him. And here's the interesting thing, depending on what you think or believe, if this is what it is on the surface, will Israel retaliate against the Trump administration, do something? Mossad is notoriously well known for their espionage and things like that. So would we see something? Or are they going to try to get, is there going to be a false flag? Who knows? It's shocking to a lot of people. And like I said, some people think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Other people are shocked and horrified. And I've even seen people that, are online stating that they were solid Trump MAGA supporters, and that this is the line, that they have lost their faith in Donald Trump. I don't know, but I think that it is significant because Israel and the matters of the Middle East and everything else, it's significant. And so the next coming days, we'll see what happens. It may, I would guess, this is not a prediction, this is just my guess, that what we see on the surface, what we actually hear about in the news, that ends up happening because of this will be small and minor compared to what's actually probably going on behind the scenes. We won't know everything. It'll make it look like, oh, it's, all their buddies now. It's no big deal, kind of like Zelensky or Putin or whatever. But something big is moving. There's stuff. It's like an iceberg. We're seeing the tip of it. The iceberg is really underwater, and looking at all the weirdness and the things going on, stuff is happening, and it's up, and you better be getting ready for it. Same way with the India-Pakistan. I know that most of you couldn't care less. In fact, most of the world does not care about what's going on with India and Pakistan. But I think it's significant because behind the scenes, you've got China, Russia, Iran supporting Pakistan. You've got the United States and a lot of the West supporting India. You've got the United States trying to move manufacturing into India against China. It's a lot. Then you've also got China probably trying to keep India in line because they're part of BRICS. There's a lot of weird stuff going on. And so I think that these are just more but yet bigger signs that the weirdness, the strangeness that's going on is because there is massive behind the scenes movement to really truly change the world, like a new world order. I was thinking about this the other day. As long as I'm almost 50, as long as I've been alive, I've heard about the new world order, right? The new world order. And there was technically a new world order after World War II, where the United States became the leader of the world, right? But we've heard all these leaders talk about new world order, new world order. And while it was kind of building to that, it never actually really happened. There was no changing of the guard. There was just, incremental progressive changes, right? And then all of a sudden Trump comes into power and things are dramatically and radically changing. Now everyone's like, well, it's a new world order. It's not the old new world order. It's the new. Maybe this is the new world order, because up until this point, while things were progressively worsening, they were still maintaining kind of the status quo, Whereas now things are really changing. So this new world order we've heard about being developed for the last 30, 40 years, how do we not know that this is what was planned? It's just looking different. They do that. You think they're going to tell you for 40 years how it's going to be and then it's going to look identical? It's all a ploy, a distraction to, deception. I don't know. But things are dramatically changing, and they're changing at such a pace. And the chaos and the confusion coming from the news media and the lies, the chaos and the confusion and the lies coming out of the White House, coming out of the Pentagon, coming out of the Kremlin, coming out of, Israel and Europe and everywhere else, should cause you to kind of that little light bulb to go off and say, hey, I don't know exactly what's going on right now, but things are happening and they don't look good because they're really chaotic, and I should probably step it up. I should probably go from just being prepping to really into a state of readiness, and then start reviewing and checking off things. Okay, I've checked this, I've added to this, I've stepped up in this way, because it's just at that point, folks. And we need to start making ourselves ready for this, because at this point, there's so many crazy changes happening on almost a daily basis. It's hard to even tell at this point what's next. Where's the next turn? And what will that look like? So get ready, get your houses in order, and prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next video.